Here it comes. Get ready. It's time for another review. And of course, if you don't know what this game is, well, something is wrong with you. It is by far the most popular game since it's re-released in a couple of years, and it's called Persona 5 The Royal, or over here, Persona 5 Royal. So, I actually spent some time in playing this after I bought it for myself, and I spent most times on my PS4 after hours, clearing my head and everything, because what got me was basically the soundtrack. If not the story, the soundtrack really got me. And plus, on top of that, my friends of the RCO, they're really big on Persona. Me, I just wanted to check it out for myself, and well, having two games underneath my belt as far as that's concerned, with Persona 3 Portable and Golden, well, I started, and it all started with Strikers, by the way. So I started. Let me go from the beginning. Let me go from the beginning. My order in the Persona games are P5S, which is the Phantom Strikers. Then 3, which is Portable. The PSP version. Which now anybody who is interested in Persona, now they can actually play as the female protagonist as well as the male protagonist. 4 was the last Persona game I actually beaten, with the true ending on top of that. And so here I am playing 5 Royal. And as you can tell, yeah, this was the last session I actually had with the game, which was about a couple hours ago. And yes, let me tell you, the bank dungeon, pain in the ass. Took me 4 days in order to basically clear the dungeon. Real time, it took me 4 days. And I stayed in the dungeon throughout those 4 days. So therefore, it took me in real time 4 days to clear this one dungeon. And basically, as you can tell, the date, it's like June 24th. Yeah. For 4 days, while I was, getting through the dungeon itself, basically it's off and on, off and on, off and on. And basically, the entire time that I'm going through this, basically I said when I start doing this as a Let's Play, this is going to be at least 2 parts, bar none. Because one is getting to the partition, and then the second one will be getting after the partition, which is going right to the vault. So I already said, well, 2 parts, I swore it. Anyway, if you don't know what this game is about, well, the theme of it is, right after Golden, we take a flip-flop to where you, playing the silent protagonist, you have done the job of what the police couldn't do, which is solve a murder. And instead, the next story carries over, in which you, along with a few social outcasts, as it were, become a fighting force to fight the corrupted. And let me tell you, the themes of this, which I got from it, are basically, you have society as it is. You can't help but feel sorry for this batch of kids who basically were trying to do right in the world, and their leader, who thought he was invincible, got caught. So the entirety of it is he's sharing his whole adventure throughout the course of the game. And he was going up against, rather some nasty looking dudes. Starting from inside the school and out. So for those who have never played this game, you should really play this game. And of course I also said that I would do the first game since I never played the first game. I've heard of the second game. And there's so many versions of 3. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do all the versions of 3. So if I do the after story, I'll do the after story, but that's as far as it will go. I don't know about 2, which is like a 2-parter. I probably do not see myself doing that anytime too soon. Excuse me. But 1 is definitely on my list since I have it on PSP. With mods. Another thing about P5R is the fact that, well, it has DLC. And the DLC, as you can see, is, well, what you see here. Which are different outfits. And with said different outfits, by what your protagonist is wearing comes different theme songs. And the one I have been basically using throughout the entirety of that 4th dungeon was Featherman. Of course, what you're seeing here is what the character is wearing is from Persona 1. So the theme song from the battle theme in Persona 1 is in there because of the suit. Whatever that suit is, whatever it is outside of your standard issue suit, it has a theme song behind it, which is cool. Another thing about the game is, since you're playing as a group of thieves, your persona are named after certain thieves, or I shouldn't call them thieves, more like anti-heroes. Like the main character is named after Arsène Lupin. Ryuji's persona is named after Captain Kidd. An's character is basically Catwoman. I mean, it's like Panther. It's either Black Cat or Catwoman. So it's either or, but I think it's leaning more towards Catwoman. But instead, no, just call her Panther. Morgana's persona is based off of Zoro. Makoto is based off of Johanna. And that's as far as I have so far. And, I'm already in the next arc of the game, which is going to feature Futaba, which is basically your Oracle of the game. Because it's basically like this. You will always have, no matter what kind of game it is, you will always have the following. You will always have an Oracle. Like 3's Oracle was Fuka. So, it's like that, So after all that, excuse the messenger. So aside from all that, this has been a great game so far, and I've been enjoying it. Even with the DLC, I have enjoyed this game immensely, and I basically spent hours, and I do mean hours, because I basically lost myself in this game. It's one of those games that I tend to say I like to lose myself in. Because of the soundtrack, it basically just like knows anything that is going on around me and within me, and just like it sends me to a different world. Oh, and by the way, the if you don't know, each one of the palace holders are named after the 7 deadly sins. So if you know what the 7 deadly sins are, then it's basically this: you you're an anti-hero dealing with the corrupt. So therefore, instead of being the hero, you're basically there for the little guy. So you're the anti-hero, who's basically that's your role. The role in the game is you're basically standing up for the little guy. That's the theme of it. And personally, I like that. You know, there's not many games that actually have you play the role where you can understand how it is. And that's the thing. I mean, really, you know, it's like this. You got heroes, and then you got anti-heroes. Not villains. Villains are totally different from anti-heroes. Anti-heroes are basically, they're heroes seen in the eyes of those who need courage. So they're past that level of heroes because, you know, heroes have a certain code of honor that they have to respect. They have to know, okay, don't cross this line between what is justice and what is vengeance. Because once you cross that line, it's like, okay, you are no longer a hero. But once you kind of realize the stuff you see around you, it basically affects you. So that is what I'm getting out of all this. That's what I'm understanding throughout the entirety of the game. And I could say this. Like I said, I have been enjoying this game immensely. I have been having issues with my phone all day long. So, when it comes down to it, if you're playing a Persona game, it always changed up. And another thing I need to point out is that when I mean it has every single thing in it. I could say it basically upgraded anything from old SMT and made it more refined. Like, in order to get the demons you want, it's basically a choice of, you know, oh, this, it shows, oh, this demon is timid, this demon is this, that, all these monsters, all these demons you're getting, it basically shows you, okay, you have to go like this. You want an item, you want its power, or you want money for it, which is standard SMT. At first, I was going to say, you know what? This is Legend of the Ghostline. No, I was about to say that. So, yeah. Originally, that was going on in my head like, hello, my friends, and welcome to a new review of Legend of the Ghostline. Like, no. But I think that shot right there, it did remind me of what Ghostline will look like in the Persona universe. It will look just like this. But actually, I am so glad I got past this dungeon because it took ever in a day. And right now, I'm en route to at least say I want to at least gain access to the true ending. And thanks for you telling me the path I should take and who I should get ranked. I'm like a third of the way there. So at least, for what it's worth, it's more like the more you spend time with these characters, the more you the more you spend time with them, the better your perks are going to be. And the more they understand your point of view about the world. That is what Persona is really about. It's about you're changing their lives inadvertently just by being that certain presence. And that's something that I want to take with me, outside of the digital world. That, my presence around people, be it, if I'm anywhere, whatever I'm doing, it's impacting. And it causes an impact, and, it becomes a positive force in the world. That's the one thing I'm getting out of it, and I'm actually liking it. And because of me going through a lot of stuff, well, it kind of like unlocked a few things in my head that basically just said, you know what, I ought to do this. I ought to go back to doing this. I ought to do this. I ought to, come back to that. I should try this, try that, all that sort of thing. But aside from saying all that, that'd be said for another video. So, yeah, I can only say I have been enjoying this thoroughly. I've pretty much been, breezing through most of the game on my own time, of course, because, games that I play off camera are different than the ones I do for the channel. And the ones that I deal with, these are probably the ones I do not mind wanting to do. So, yeah, if you have not tried this, if you've not tried the Persona games, I highly recommend them. If you want to try the earlier games, which is Shin Megami Tensei, if you want to try Mega 10, you can try Mega 10 or Shin Mega 10, or even the Last Bible series. You could try that too. I'm not going to judge because, your taste may vary. But if you really want to get away from the religious aspect, yeah, just go over to Persona. Persona doesn't have none of that. And that's the only thing I just never cared for in Megami Tensei. It had too much biblical stuff happening. Like, yeah, could you please keep your Bible stuff out of it? No offense, but I don't want that. I don't need that. I only deal with that Sunday, and I don't mind dealing with it for Sunday. After that, I just want to go home. I want to come in. I want to just chill and pretty much play some Persona. Anyway, I hope this review has been refreshing to those who want to hear it, and of course, those who are curious about it. So therefore, my recommendation, if you're new, play the later games first. Then you want to see how I'll start, play the earlier games. Because like I said, I first started in set order 5 strikers, 3 portable, 4 golden, and I'm playing Royal on my own time, and I will eventually get to do it as a future LP. Of course, I'm getting the Steam version, not use the PS4 version. I almost said PS2. Yeah, I know there's a PS2 version before, but anyway, Persona, love it, enjoy it, feel it, embrace it, or not. You know, your taste may vary, but at least you're well informed about the series. And I'm also aware of P5T Tactica. Oh, and also if you want a little more of a challenge, you can try and find the 3DS games. Persona Q. You want to try that? Try that if you so choose to. But your taste may vary. Keep that in mind. Anyway, until next time, or whatever it is I plan to cover in either review or Let's Play format, or even Chest of Obscurity, well, you'll see it right here. And also, if you want to, if you have any kind of requests, please let me know in the comment section, and I'll see what I can do about it. Okay then. So until the next time, or whatever I plan to do, once again, I've been your friendly neighborhood Tenkaichi, and I shall see you next time. Okay? Have a great weekend, folks. Daitenso. See you next game. Tenkai Muso.